Sean Clark. Sean Clark, come on. We actually put him on a little bit earlier. So go ahead, Sean. Tell him what you got going on.
Hey guys, it's a seamless transition. I was just excited to get out here because Peter set the stage for what we're doing. And what he talked about is exactly what we've done. We're a Canadian company, and we've actually used the RTO mechanism in Canada to provide an on-ramp for institutions to invest into the space. And we actually haven't done it with just any company. We've been able to do it with Bitfury. So why this is powerful and why at the end of the day, Hut8 will be different from literally every single company now trying to mine Bitcoin or altcoins for that matter in the space is because we are Bitfury. The way that the capital markets work is that when you do a reverse takeover onto the Toronto Stock Exchange, Venture Exchange, which is where we're going, institutions will come in because it's an on-ramp. So Hut8 is Bitfury. I want to create that association here right now with this community. This mechanism in Canada is so unique that we are going to be able to scale Bitfury's operations like we've never seen, because we will be providing access to institutions to indirectly invest in Bitfury. So what Hut8 is it is a capital markets vehicle that was formed for the purpose of vending in Bitfury's North American assets. So Hut8 is Bitfury North America. What exactly does that look like today? Well, let's see where we're at. We've just actually been on a roadshow, and we're doing a $100 million raise. And the roadshow ended, actually, books closed at 3 p.m. today. We're Toronto, Montreal, New York, doing a $100 million raise, and we've had strong demand, so we'll fill that. But Hut8, just while we have this slide, the name refers to the actual location where Alan Turing decoded the Enigma machine. And cryptography was a huge part of that. And not only did that save millions of lives, it was one of the fundamental pillars of blockchain. So we thought it was an appropriate name. So this is what we've done. We formed a partnership with Bitfury Global Limited. So Bitfury owns 47% of Hut8. The other owners are huge institutions that are now getting into the space. So we raised $38 million in December. It took us 3 days. We had $420 million of demand on the book. We brought in over 46 institutions. And with that, we actually bought 7 block boxes located in Drumheller, Alberta. Bitfury already has 47 of their block boxes. I'll talk about what those are, but those are mobile data mining, Bitcoin mining centers. We purchased 7 of them right away. And then we put in a purchase order for more. And then now we're doing what's called a subscription receipt financing, where we're raising another $100 million. And we will be a publicly traded company on the TSXV mid to late September. So this may not be appropriate for this group who everyone here has coins, but for your grandmother who wants to buy a blockchain company or a token but doesn't know how, they can go into their broker and purchase a publicly traded equity, which is Hut8, and they would be indirectly buying part of Bitfury. So Bitfury actually had a strategic session in Dubai at the end of December, and out of that came the commitment to roll out in Canada 200 megawatts before 2018. Not only that, we're going to roll out 200 megawatts worth of GPU mining as well. This is all in Canada. So this is unique, and this is something that we've committed to, and we're telling institutional investors that we're going to do this. And we're different from other miners coming because we're going to actually be able to do this. Because what you have right now is a huge choke point in one key part of the value chain, and that's the chip. You want an ASIC chip, that's what you need to mine Bitcoin. Well, you can go to Bitmain, good luck, or you can go to Bitfury. They have $1.9 billion of back order. The chip is truly the choke point. So we've already grandfathered in through Hut8, allocated, so we will roll out that number, and then looking to 2019 to 2020, we're going to create a huge electricity footprint in Canada first, then US, and we even have Mexico. But Canada is a beautiful place, as we all know, and they have three things that are very important for Bitcoin mining. They have cheap electricity, they have very, very cold temperatures, and there's rule of law. Sure, you could go to Venezuela and get cheaper electricity, but at the end of the day, you don't know if your mining rigs will be nationalized. So, rule of law is very important. So there's literally a gold rush. I was actually just in Montreal. There's a gold rush going right now for miners to flood into Quebec, because Quebec has amazing clean hydropower that they don't know what to do with. So Quebec will soon be a blockchain center where everyone is mining. But again, the key difference is who can actually execute on what they promise. What we're doing here with Hut8 and Bitfury is that we are creating a utility company. The plan is to institutionalize and create economies of scale so vast in mining that it will underpin the entire digital currency asset class. And if you believe the RBC report that came out a few days ago or last week, that they even predicted and they said that the digital currency asset class will represent a $10 trillion opportunity. Well, everyone in this room believes that, as I'm sure. And what we want to do with Hut8 and Bitfury is be one of the anchor tenants in that space with utility size scale. So we're vertically integrated. We have access to cheap power. We're developing long-term contracts with governments. We're investing in provinces. We're in fact doing a center of excellence in Montreal. We're going to be training coders. We want to really get into the fabric of the communities that we're going into, because Bitcoin is all about decentralization, but it's not just decentralization. It's actually about community as well, right? That's why all of it is so important and popular. So I apologize. This is an investor deck, so I'm just going to flip through because some of this stuff is not going to be appropriate. But what I do want to do is talk about this. This actually speaks to the level that we're playing, the vision that we have. So we're very fortunate to have, well, Bill Tai. I mean, come on, what a legend. He was single-handedly responsible for planting the seed where this relationship has gone. He's an amazing guy, and we have him on the board. He will be chairman of the board. So having his thought leadership within this space, and he's been so active, we're very fortunate. Valery Vavilov, CEO, founder of Bitfury. He is the brains, he is the visionary. The software stack with which they've built on top of the chip, to the servers, to the air cooling, and then to the software. Bitfury is truly an amazing company. We're glad to be a part of them. Michael Novogratz, the titan of Wall Street, Galaxy Digital. He owns 7.5% of this company. So I guess you could say that we're aligned. The other three, Jerry Sinclair, she was ex-GM of Microsoft Canada, incredibly active. Dennis Mills, ex-parliamentarian in the Ontario government. And Jeffrey Mason provides mining resource expertise, so when we scale, we're going to know what to do. So we've prepared an incredibly compelling board of directors. We will be able to get financing for all of the projects that we are planning to roll out hundreds and hundreds of megawatts to create a utility. And the best part is you will be able to invest in this company. So Bitfury itself, they've been around since 2011. We all know who they are. They were there when Bitcoin went down from 900 to 200. They were last man standing, but that allowed them to get market share. Over $350 million in revenue last year. They're profitable. All the investors and institutions I talked to were like, well, why are you just taking Bitfury public? Well, at the end of the day, the regulation to get a full-blown prospectus through the SEC or some other regulatory body is actually incredibly difficult. Not only that, you don't want to put your entire playbook onto the street for everyone to see. And this is where Peter comes in. This is where we come in. This is where the Canadian capital markets mechanism, known as the RTO, is an incredibly powerful tool. It allows liquidity. And now institutions are pouring into this space through this mechanism. But it's not a shortcut. It really is something that allows real companies with real revenues, with real stories, to access institutional capital. That's what that is. So this little doozy here is actually quite interesting, so let's talk about that for a second. Val had a moment when their Norway facility got asbestos, so they had to move a fixed site installation of a 50 megawatt facility out. And there was so much downtime that he was like, this is brutal, we're not mining. We have to do something about this. Why can't we just put these into a container so that we can move them around? 5 years of R&D, because that was 5 years ago when that happened. Now one of these ocean line 40-foot containers contain 100,000 ASIC chips on 176 server boards, 7.5 petahashes on 1.1 megawatts of capacity. At the end of the day, these allow you to become an energy hunter, whereas when you have a fixed site installation, you are beholden to the electricity costs within that specific location. Electricity is 90% of the entire cost to mine Bitcoin. So this is why the utility economies of scale and the utility size play will win. We're agnostic on the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin goes up, everybody's getting in, is what we're seeing. Well, we'll just make more money, just like everyone else. However, when the Bitcoin price goes down, we also win. And we win because we have the lowest marginal cost to roll out the next megawatt. Meaning, the cost for us is $1,200 to actually mine. And if you include the depreciation, the capex, $3,800. So actually, the price can go down to $1,000, and we have enough Bitcoin and enough cash to sustain, and then we'll just gain market share. But again, considering the ethos of decentralization, considering no one actor should have more power than any else, George, Val, Bill, they believe this as well. So Hut8 is not planning to have more than 30% of the entire Bitcoin mining. However, 30% of $10 trillion is actually quite compelling. So that's what we're building here. So actually, this is kind of interesting. Where is all the mining happening? China's red hot, 65% of all Bitcoin mining happening. GM was on fire, raised capital, put ant miners next to empty, ghost town cities in China, and he scaled up quickly. Bitfury wasn't able to in the last 5 years. However, that has changed. The winds have turned, and now the capital markets in the West have now caught up. So we are now going to scale incredibly quickly. 5% of the mining is done in North America. We intend to change that. We intend to rebalance the ecosystem. This is why this is exciting. This is why this is compelling. Okay, well, sorry, this is all finance stuff, but at the end of the day, we will be public at the mid to late February. So I guess what I want to leave you with is the thinking that Hut8 is a vehicle with which Bitfury can access capital markets. And what we're solving for with the institutions that are buying our stock is that we're solving for the working capital problem. Traditionally, Bitfury has grown internally. They're a private company, so they would have to actually mine the coins, sell them, put in an order to Taiwan Semiconductor, and then have them produce it, and then roll out more mining rigs. Again, it's a slow process. It's 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. With the capital markets, we're able to pre-finance everything. We're going to say we're going to do 100 megawatts in Quebec, and then institutions and capital markets will raise the money, $100 million, $2 million, and then we'll deploy it. So it really becomes an exercise in same-store model. The operational excellence that these guys have accrued over the last 7 years, they know how to mine. They have an entire proprietary software stack, global monitoring, and they've made all the mistakes. So having the chips, having the power, having the capital, now it becomes execution. So we are literally going same-store model. That one, okay, it works, then next, 50 megawatts, 100 megawatts. So it is truly an exciting time for this company. And I'm very, very fortunate to tell this story. And other than that, I'd like to thank everyone for your time.